Right then, boys and girls, so the Wowhead Economy Weekly Wrap-Up. This is episode 188. We're slowly but surely working our way to the 200 mark. It's not long now. Firstly, we give a big shout out to Samadan, who puts this together for us each and every week. It gets posted up on the Wowhead blog. The link for this will be in the description down below. Please feel free to go check it out if you want to read it through in more detail. But let's see what we're working with today. So, table of contents, 25,000 Anima for 5 Korthich Crystals, Trade Skill Master Roadmap and some help videos, 9.1 preparation and the Bauble Worm project, and then some further reading for those that want to dive a little bit deeper. Now, for some of you may be aware I took a week off last week, and when I take a week off, I wasn't even home. I didn't have internet access, nothing. I was blind to the outside world. So a few things are a bit of a surprise to me on my return. This is of course one of them. Items and rewards. The Broker Kotal in the Great Vault Room will now exchange excess Anima for caches of trade skill goods, which can include Korthich Crystals. Developers note as players have traversed more anima-rich lands of Korthia, some players are finding that they no longer have new unlocks to spend it on. We do not intend to add significant new one-time anima sinks in Chains of Domination and want to provide an outlet for players who are content with their choice of Covenant but have purchased everything that is offered. This is like, what, 5 people in the world? Alright, sure. Only those that have gone really hardcore with Anima in patch 9.0 I imagine would be here. I'm sure I'll get comments down below telling me that I'm wrong on this. It's usually the way. Now it is true, yes, there's a lot more Anima kicking about in Korthia at the moment. You can do your sweep of dailies, you can do your weekly quests out there, and for the most part you'll end up with a lot more Anima than you started with. But 25,000 Anima for 5 Korthich Crystals. Are you mad? That's not going to make any difference at all. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, the time it would still take you to gather up 25,000 Anima is ludicrous. It's even with today's crazy easy Anima flow, that's still probably a month of doing dailies on Korthia to get 25,000 Anima. For 5 Korthich Crystals that have an average price of about 2k a piece, yeah, probably not. I guess it just means that you're not going to cap out your Anima. Sure, maybe, I don't know. Some people are saying it might only take 5 days to do it. You'd probably have to do a full clean sweep of not just Korthia but the entire map to get 5k Anima a day. I'm not sure. Either way, 5 Korthich Crystals for 25,000 Anima is a lot of Anima. It's interesting that they've put some other stuff though. 7,500 for 10 heavy callous hide, 20 lightless silk, 20 alethioum ore, or 25,000 for 5 Korthich Crystals. This feels very much like the they've just 10x'd the Valor ones. If you remember, there's the Valor vendor. 750 Valor gives you 10 heavy, 20 lightless, or 20 alethioum. So I guess they're saying that one Valor is worth 10 Anima. Is that what they're claiming? I don't know. I don't think this is going to make a blind bit of difference. Nor do I really feel that this is going to make a blind bit of difference. I guess this is just so people feel that they're doing something with the Anima, instead of, you know, just capping it out. This is where the mission table army comes in. This is what, yeah, I feel that the mission table is probably a far better use of excess Anima than what it would be to just spend it on. I mean, 5 Korthich, this is the thing, right? 5 Korthich Crystals now, today, as of recording this, is worth about 10k gold. 5 Korthich Crystals, 2k a piece, 10k gold. That's great, today. In a month's time, in 2 months' time, when Korthich Crystals are 500 gold a piece, 2,500 gold for 25,000 Anima, yeah, it's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're concerned that there's going to be a huge spike in Korthich Crystals. I would go by the assumption that Korthich Crystals are going to do what Korthich Crystals are going to do. There'll be a steady supply of them for sure. I would expect the average price of your Korthich Crystals to slowly start to drop from here on out. People that wanted their rank 5s and 6s early, they're looking to grab them for that extra boost of stats, probably have already done so. There's a lot of people out there that are still happy with their rank 4 and will maybe pick up their rank 6 or 5 as and when it's at the right price for them. But I don't think that Korthich Crystals are going to see an explosive supply just because you can buy 5 of them for 25k Anima. Bit crazy. Prior to 9.1, there used to be a conversion ratio of 2.5. You could get 250 gold for each Anima, 100 Anima that you spend, meaning that 2,500 gold for 1,000 Anima, so 25,000 gold for 10,000 Anima. So, yeah, okay, based on that, there's no way in hell you'd ever buy these Korthich Crystals, for sure. About 2 weeks ago, they changed the vendor price of the Anima gear so that it's less than 100 gold. It varies between 60 to 84 gold. That would mean a conversion rate of 0.6 to 0.84. So this basically means that they're giving us more Anima nowadays, but they've just trashed anything that you can do with it. They're basically making sure that the inflated amount of Anima that people are gaining isn't going to inflate the amount of gold that people can generate from it. Anima is pretty strictly going to be for your mission table, any mounts or transmoggy sort of stuff from your covenants, and outside that they're trying to limit the ways to convert it to gold, which is probably smart long term. It's probably smart. It's probably better for people to turn it into materials than it is to turn it into raw gold straight away. Obviously, you can go out and sell the materials, or you can craft with the materials. It's more RPG this way, I think. I think that makes a lot more sense. People were buying, if I remember it right, people were buying Anima gear to then just straight up vendor it. So that's probably what Blizzard are trying to avoid there. But who knows what Blizzard are trying to do. It's a nice option to be able to choose what to do with excess Anima. So much for the drought then. Yeah, I did give people a bit of warning that the Anima drought is going to be far less of a thing once we're elbow deep into patch 9.1. Anima's not really much of a concern. But I suspect it won't heavily impact the Korthich Crystal prices. I think I have to agree with this. I don't think it's going to have much of an effect at all. EU prices for Korthich Crystals then. This is taken from the Undermine Journal. We see a somewhat, literally over 4 weeks, a decline from 3,000 gold to 2,000 gold. There's no reason to say that decline won't continue. But so in 1 month's time, I would imagine that, it probably won't drop as dramatically, but I would imagine in the next couple of weeks, you'll expect to see about a 500 gold reduction in the value of Korthich Crystals, I would guess. So if you are a crafter out there, I probably wouldn't recommend stockpiling too heavily on your Korthich Crystals. Just, pick up a couple of stacks, maybe enough to do your recrafting, maybe enough to sell your legendaries for the week, but don't go too heavy. But the interesting thing is the available quantities also dipping. The indication to me was that the supply of Korthich Crystals would just slowly but surely go up as less and less people are crafting with them and more people are getting them. But it seems to turn out that there's actually not that many people playing Korthia right now. Once you've got out of Korthia what you want to get out of it, there's not too much reason to go back there. And unfortunately, Korthich Crystals at 2k a piece aren't good reason enough to go there, as you're not even guaranteed to get one every day. So, time will tell. Time will tell. Compare that to the NA region. It's a very similar trend, actually. Very, very similar trend. The average market price is a little bit higher over on the NA regions, but that also, I feel, is probably because the amount of them. Yeah, there's nowhere near as many of them, actually. There's a lot smaller supply on the NA. all the more reason to indicate that there's just less people doing Korthich, to be honest. Pretty interesting to see just how similar these two graphs are. We'll keep our eyes on this on the channel going forward, and I'll make sure I give you guys a heads up if there's anything dramatic that changes. But as it stands right now, expect a slight decline in the overall value of Korthich crystals, as less and less people are interested in their legendaries. We may find a weird situation happen. It may bottom out for a little while, because there comes a point, right? I think when the legendaries, when rank 5s and rank 6s drop below 100,000 gold, I think you'll find a surprising amount of people will decide to, alright, it's cheap enough to buy it now. When it's, you know, 100,000 gold plus, I think it still scares people from investing that heavily. But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Next on the list, though, we have some Trade Skill Master roadmap and some help videos, courtesy of yours truly, by the way. Gumdrops posted a call for some feedback on the upcoming planned work on the task list and feature of TSM that helps you gather and craft all the necessary items to sell. So this is the roadmap that Trade Skill Master share. This is an indication to you of exactly what Trade Skill Master plan on implementing, plan on working on going forward. And it gives you guys the opportunity to sort of vote on things, to say, right, I'd like to see this one, more so than anything else. It shows you what they're planning on doing in the future as well, which is quite handy, so you can go check this out. The link to the roadmap is in the article. I personally have not taken too much of a deep dive into this. Maybe we should do at some point. Maybe we should dive into this in a lot of detail, actually. Try and work out exactly where we would like to see improvements being made. But it's good to see that the Trade Skill Master team are being a little bit more public with what they're working on, what they're planning to do with the add-on going forward. Because without doubt, it is the most powerful add-on in the hands of goal makers, especially in the hands of people that know how to use it properly. If you really know how to utilize Trade Skill Master to your advantage, it's a good day in the office when you get your TSM profile set up. I can say that much for sure. Even Samadan yesterday was hesitant to craft legendaries because the amount of gold you'd have to invest into the vestiges. Yes. Just jumping back a section very quickly to touch on that. The cost of creating these legendaries is still remarkably high because of the vestige price. It's a bare minimum of 80,000 gold just to craft it. Now, if you can't guarantee that you're going to sell it for more than 100,000 gold, that's a very, very sizable risk for a lot of people, which may be why not many people are crafting and selling them. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. If you are looking to get into Trade Skill Master for the first time, I put a few videos together last week. They went up on the channel. I spread them out a little bit last week. There's 4 main videos in a playlist, and it's designed to get people up and running with Trade Skill Master and to teach you the ways of how Trade Skill Master works. There's 4 videos. There's the basic setup for your groups. There's the price sources that you should be aware of and how they work. There's operations and how you can put together smart operations. And then finally, there's a little bit of a walkthrough of exactly how you actually go about using Trade Skill Master on a day-to-day basis. So 4 videos in a little playlist so far. Some people seem to have enjoyed them so far. Check them out if you're new with Trade Skill Master, and of course feel free to leave your feedback on them as well. Why do you think the crafting cost is going to decrease? Well, mainly because the supply of Korthich Crystals arguably is always going to go upwards. Honestly, because more and more people are still doing Korthia, but at the same time, as them doing Korthia, they're going to acquire Korthich Crystals, and they're going to want to try and sell those as quickly as possible because people are aware the price will go down. But it's still a bit ridiculous that it's 80,000 gold flat, absolute bare minimum to craft a rank 5 or 6 legendary right now. That's just for the vestige. That's not even covering all of the cost of the vestige either. It's more like 100,000 gold a legendary right now just to craft the damn thing, which is why the prices are still pretty high. But it'll go down slowly but surely as people pick up their legendaries and as people continue to gather more Korthich Crystals. The price of the vestiges will drop, that's for sure. But next we have an interesting one. This is one I want to look into in a little bit of detail actually. The Bauble Worm project. Some of you guys will be aware that with patch 9.1 there were some new pets that were released. One of which was outrageously expensive. It's something like 10,000 polished pet charms, I believe it was. Yeah, ridiculous amounts. But somebody has gone a slightly more, as Samadan quotes it, a slightly more niche route to their goal making path, but a successful one nonetheless. So, in my boredom for waiting for 9.1, one of the things I tried to do was obtain the items needed to purchase the new Bauble Worm battle pets. There's the ruby, the topaz and the turquoise ones are the basic ones. There was also the amethyst Bauble Worm, which was the expensive one, which interestingly doesn't seem to be featured in this, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The topaz, the ruby and the turquoise are purchased in exchange for 3 different grey items from a variety of sources. Purchased a lot of these components as they're at the default auction house listing price of 2 gold, but also farmed quite a bit of them on the EU and the US. It's very interesting to me to see that. See, I thought these grey items that needed to be purchased to buy these were just placeholder. I was almost certain that those grey items were going to be placeholder items, and that they were going to just work out what the materials would be for these pets. But apparently not. Apparently buying and selling grey items is now a thing. But anyway, so purchased a lot of these components. All of the pets were bought on Draenor EU and Thrall US and transferred to other servers via the pet journal. On the day of 9.1 release, I had each of these pets listed on over 125 servers. Holy smoke. That's a lot of servers. Now, I'm more than aware these numbers are fairly small in comparison to what a lot of people, including myself, have made from Crafter's Marks or Legendaries in terms of gold value. I did, however, find it useful as I did the work during the last 5 to 6 weeks of 9.0, where gold making opportunities were really low. I also had quite a bit of stock still upon the auction house, so these numbers will increase, but 1 month since the patch. Seems reasonable to take a look at how it's gone. Okay, so this is interesting, right? This is just crazy numbers. Ruby Bauble Worm sales. Is this quantity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 8 million gold in sales. 8 million gold in sales on the ruby. 6 million gold in sales of the topaz. And 4 million gold in sales of the turquoise ones. So what are we saying? 18 million gold in sales just off these 3 pets. Now it's difficult to I mean, in fact there's no way to sugarcoat this. That is a shitload of gold for selling 3 pets. This is a really good example of finding a market that nobody else is talking about. Like if you're able to focus on something that nobody else is, you can dominate that market and dominate that they did. Now obviously there was a lot of time and effort that went into this, buying or trying to source these grey items to begin with. I'm hoping that they put together some info on just exactly how that's even a thing. Extra cheap component grey items that popped up even when I knew they were on servers. I would never be buying pets on. I initially used these to massively increase the regional value on the base items, such as the stoppable force. Leading up to the release of 9.1, I had over 50% of the items. So the stoppable force is a grey item level 29 two-handed mace. Managed to manipulate the price considerably. I was not sure if pushing the price of the components would even affect the value of the pets when 9.1 released, but it was fun to play with it either way. So you can see here, right, this one grey item went from having not many listed to lots listed. Maybe because you were buying them and then relisting them all. This is something that I completely missed. Once 9.1 was released, I had a lot of pets and started throwing the spare components I had for literally nothing at 20k a piece. Managed to get a few sales. I could potentially have sold these for more, but just wanted to liquidate stock as I knew there'd eventually be an influx. However, I did top up my profits from this little project, as you can see from examples of a couple of the components listed below. Robble's wobbly staff, 500,000 gold in sales off a grey item. The stoppable force, 500,000 gold in sales on a grey item. This is crazy. Had a lot of fun with this. Even the farming part did not mind so much, as I've never farmed anything since I got the Brutosaur 14 months ago. Hashtag not salty. That being said, I won't be returning to farming anytime soon. Hope you enjoyed the read. This is incredible. Now, obviously, the time and effort to do this across 125 servers is ludicrous. What's not representative here is, yes, cool, 18 million gold in sales. That's ridiculous. It is very true to say, though, that this one person probably dominated this entire market region-wide, because I don't think anybody else really thought to do this. Which is, that alone is very impressive. I'm very surprised by this. Not only am I surprised to see it, it's also really good to see people, you know, using their creative brain, spotting an opportunity and just doubling down on it. And that's the way to do it. Spot an opportunity and just go hard. The staff is from a Firelands raid and a little bit hard to get to drop compared to the others. It's interesting that people have actually worked out that they are somewhat targetable, though. That's the interest, and maybe you just, you know, maybe you just looked them up on Wowhead. I don't know, but that's very impressive to me to see just how people have worked out how to focus farm grey items that go into pets. Incredible. But anyway, we'll leave it there for this week's episode of the weekly economy wrap up. This was episode 188. Once again, give a little bit of a shout out to Samadan for putting this together for us each and every week on the Wowhead blog. You can catch Samadan over on his Discord server or on Twitch, or you can even go say hi to him over on Twitter. But there we go. I'll leave it there for today's video, boys and girls. If you enjoyed the video, remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new around here. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.